Knockout Legends in the building. Like, comment and subscribe. So I just was looking at the post-match commentary in the ring, and Terence Crawford, humble, respectful, but also truthful as well about the way the fight went. When he getting interviewed by the interviewer, also he told the truth about how Errol Spence fans were not giving him his credit coming through the weight categories he's come through. Also when ignored by his accolades and his achievements going through all the weight classes. And it's kind of sad that, because I think we have a thing where some boxing fans, because someone's more popular or more outspoken or more flashy or more, how can I put it, Instagram famous, that the more in the public light that they're the more better person because, I don't know, youth, status, being out there, being the life and soul of the party, that they're the better person, when really and truly the guy that grinds, the guy that's dedicated, the guy that's does things a proper way, you know, can achieve a lot in the sport of boxing. So I remember somebody was making a comparison about the two fighters, and I can't remember who it was, but one of the people said, it was a famous person, he said that Errol Spence looks like a rapper. This was in the very first press conference. Errol Spence looks like a rapper, the way he's dressed and he's flashy, and Terence Crawford looks like he's a mechanic, but he's a boxer. So he's one of them guys that just gets down to hard work and then he's in the gym boxing. But Errol Spence looks like he's a rapper. So that actual comparison to what I'm talking about actually kind of highlights the difference in the two mindsets of the fighters and the way they present themselves and the image. So that actually would translate into their fighting styles and the way they approach the boxing. So that would kind of give you an insight into the mental DNA of the fighters. But going back to what I was saying about Crawford, he said he'd fight him again, which would be actually an interesting fight. And he was honest on the first knockdown, said it was a flash knockdown, but then, the rest of the fight, if you've seen it, you know how it goes. So there's not really much more I can say on that. But then just fast forwarding from that, I'm going to talk about the press conference with Errol Spence, and he does look like a full-on dejected character in that. And I still take my hat off to him and give him his dues, because he fought a hell of a fight. And I think probably that person there is probably the hardest person he's ever fought. And I think he realises that. And I think maybe initially when they had the first run-in and he was saying what he was saying, honestly, he thought that maybe, I'm not saying he wanted to avoid him, but the best way around everything to make the money, because what Al Heyman was saying was to take the belts off the other people, which is what he did, and then come back round. And maybe that strategy backfired, because he did have quite a few tough fights, because he even said the Kell Brook fight was his toughest, hardest fight. So maybe that took a lot out of him. We know the Sean Porter fight wasn't easy as well for him. So them two fights, maybe they took a lot of air out of the tyres of Spence, and maybe that could have contributed to the way he was a little bit off time in this fight. So maybe that contributed to, the injury, what he got with the car crash and other things as well, as to actually why he wasn't at the races. Or we can just be honest and say Terence Crawford is just a better overall skill set fighter. He didn't even switch stance in this fight. He just stayed in southpaw. But then the interesting thing to note about the fight, what I mentioned in the live commentary, if you watch it, check it out, is that he actually has that much power in his lead right hand when he's in a southpaw stance. It's like he's throwing it as a backhand, even though it's his lead hand, and it's funny because he can throw the hook from either stance, but even if he's square on, he can throw it like it's a rear backhand power punch. But them short punches that he throws up range, similar to like what Floyd Mayweather does, where he catches you if you come in quick, he scores points with that. He throws it with power and authority. You know, he's got a remarkable boxing brain where it's just switched on, and whichever stance he's in, he can hit you. And the way he can wrestle you and control your head, and then move you in position to get like hit with punches is very, very good. Also, he's got good wrestling strength where he can wrestle you off and move you away when you're trying to hold and trying to spoil and smother his work. So I think it's a case of people underrating Terence Crawford's skill. I don't even think it's down to even all the things that I mentioned about Errol Spence Jr. And if that is the case, then that's on Errol Spence Jr. because he should have fought him sooner, and then he should have been more responsible in his life outside the ring, so it didn't interfere with his life inside the ring. So, you know, the outcome may have been different. But coming back to Errol Spence Jr., he was talking about if he does have the rematch, he'd like it at a higher weight. I think it's 154 or 156, I think. But whichever way it is, I don't know if Terence Crawford's going to go up to that weight. Would the fight be fair at that weight? I don't know. But I think, like what I said in one of the other videos about him making the weight, it's been killing him to make that weight. So I'm surprised he made the weight for the fight, to be fair, but he made it. But he's done it before, so it's not a hard thing. But going into a fight of this magnitude, and then you're cutting down from whatever you cut down to that weight, and you've been through all the stuff you've been through, plus you've had them hard fights. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I understand. But like, he's always been a big guy, so that was always to his advantage. But in this respect, it isn't. So if he needs to go up and this is his last fight at that weight, then likely we're not going to get a rematch at that weight. And Crawford didn't mention going up in weight because I don't think he has any intention of going up in weight, because he's a naturally smaller guy, so he'll go up when he's probably ready. And I think he may want to actually defend the titles maybe just once at that weight, so who knows anyway. But I would like to see the rematch either way, even if it's at that weight or this weight, because it will still be an interesting fight. But again, even if it does go up in weight, I still think Crawford will win. I still think he'll win, and I think it'll be quicker this time. I think he'll get knocked out a lot sooner because he saw everything that he's needed to see, so he knows how to fight him. So if we do get a rematch, I reckon the fight will be a lot, probably more competitive, and I think maybe Spence may be a little bit more cautious, maybe not as reckless as he was at times in this first fight, but he will have a lot more power. So would Crawford be able to take that power? Who knows? But I think he'd get timed a lot more, because we can see that Crawford's master at timing. So he's going to get hit, and he's going to get hit with a lot more power shots as well. So would he be able to take more punishment at that weight? Possibly. Would he get knocked out at that weight? Maybe not, because he might be stronger. Would he get dropped? Who knows? We'll have to just see. So anyway, what do you think? Do you think the fight should be at 147, or should it go up to the 156 limit? And who do you think will win at that limit if they do go up to that? And do you give Crawford his dues for this fight, or do you think that Spence was just off the mark for this fight and he wasn't at the races? So leave your comments in the comment section, hit the notification bell for more content like this, and that is another one from the Knockout Legends. Oh yeah, and like, comment and subscribe as well. Peace.